We all know Christopher Meloni as Detective Stabler on Law and Order SVU, or even the kooky Camp Cook in the comedy Wet Hot American Summer. But Christopher is now August Pullman on WGN's time period slave drama Underground. Take a look.
Search him out, boy. Search him out. Come on, search him out. She took to the stream. Come on, boys.
Hold up. Hell of a random place you stop to water your mule, August.
Nice place for water till home.
You seen any runaways around here?
You know I wouldn't tell you if I had. Not only trouble. I'm just gonna be on my way.
Yeah. Now before I take a look in your wagon. You want a hole in you too, Jim? Get over there. Like I said, just be on my way.
And Christopher joins me now. So welcome to Huffpost Live.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So I was just telling you while that clip was playing that I watched 4 episodes thus far, so I'm not going to give things away for people who haven't seen it, but your character...
I haven't seen it.
Your character really confuses me.
Yeah.
So without saying too much, can you just give us a little backstory on what his deal is? Because he seems, he's not well off financially.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a loner.
Yeah,
Is he a good guy or a bad guy in the whole slave
Well, that's,
thing?
that's what I appreciated about the script, that, the longer I read, the deeper I got into the character, I was like, you can't put that easy label on him. He's a veteran of the Mexican-American War, so he's a man who is comfortable with guns, with horses. He's comfortable in bad situations and dangerous situations, but you find him as a guy who's in charge of a failed farm, a family that is broken apart, financial constraints. And, you find a man also, basically a single father trying to raise his 12-year-old boy in the image of what it is to be a man, which I think is, kind of a thing that all men wrestle with. What is the correct way of raising a child? But especially in that day and age, they didn't have role models running around. You're in 1857 Georgia. And, he's a man caught up in the economic system of the day, which is slavery in the South. And, just to make it real quick, I just think you find a man in conflict at the time that we find him.
Yeah, well, I think it shows that it was a difficult, position for someone like himself that maybe felt like he had no other way of trying to provide for his family. But it seems like he is wrestling with these questions of what kind of world he wants to leave for his son when his son does grow up. I want to bring in a comment here from one of your fans who recorded the video earlier, too. This is from Meredith Arelis.
Hi again, Chris. I'm Meredith, and my question for you is, how did you prepare for your role in Underground? Thanks.
That's sweet. Thanks, Meredith. The preparation was far different than anything that I usually do. I obviously did, the reading, research type stuff, but I felt that my character didn't have too much. He had no knowledge of the bigger world, the outside world. I think the things that he relied on was his animal nature and his parts of his morality. The 2 basic essences of, I think, what we all are, that spiritual versus animal. And, so beyond that, a lot of what I got was from the cowboy wranglers that they hired to teach me how to ride horses and to shoot the revolvers, 1851
and to
Navy
throw the
Colts,
knife so that it catches someone's hand.
doing the knife work. Yeah, and it was really profound because I wasn't a big fan of horses, but really that relationship was really profound for me. That journey, I really appreciated I guess you realize you got back. For me, it was getting back to the earth, getting back to living things, whether they be human or animal, or the earth. That's how these people lived.
And why weren't you a fan of horses before? Did you have some bad experiences, or just
No.
had never really had a lot of interaction with them?
No, I'm just not a big fan of a lot of muscle combined with unpredictable.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But beautiful creatures.
Well, no, I've become a big fan. Matter of fact, my daughter, because she always used to like to bust my chops about, oh, Daddy's afraid of horses. And I wasn't afraid. I was just very leery of them. But I brought my family down and we got to ride. And she's like, oh, wow, you've changed course. You've turned the corner. And I appreciate them. I appreciate what it takes to have this communication with them. So, yeah, it was a good learning experience for me.
And but speaking of other learning experiences too, the handlers, you said they did the knife work. There's a scene where you were basically just skinning, gutting. I'm not even sure what the right terminology is for a pig that's hanging. Is that a real pig? Did you really have to do that?
Absolutely. We had a guy who, and that's what was so great, to surround yourself with the tech experts who were all these either locals or real cowboys from Colorado or Idaho or Georgia or Tennessee, teaching you these lost arts. And he splayed out the pig, and they pulled out the offals, and I was asking him, so it says this in the script, how do I do it? And he showed me the best technique, and you fudge it because there's certain other ways to do it, but it was close enough. It was great.
Well, that's just one part of what can be gruesome and gory about the show. I mean, ultimately, it's a pretty big deal that there is a drama being made about this period in history that really is being told very much from the slave's perspective, and what it was like, and the kind of life that they lived, the kind of risks that they took to try to get some sense of freedom. So what was it really that made you want to sign on when you heard the project like this was going to happen?
Well, first, I'll backtrack and go to your point. That's one of the things that really struck me as we were shooting that. You think about it, these were people, the slaves, that the only world they'd ever known was that square mileage of whatever that plantation was. It was usually with their head down picking the cotton, or their head down doing the work they needed to do, or they didn't get out of the big house. And so for someone to have the chutzpah to say, I'm running, I mean, they have no idea what's out there. And you want to talk about a hostile environment. I mean, you don't know black or white, you don't know who to trust. Definitely white. You ain't going to trust a white face. But even blacks, they would turn you in. And where are you going to go? What's the topography? Where are the swamps, the unpassable swamps? I mean, these people were pretty super heroic. And the people that helped them, white and black, the abolitionists, they were heroic. I mean, they would get lynched. An abolitionist would get killed or lynched just as quickly. Well, not quite as quickly, but they too would get hurt or lynched just as much as a black person. But what I signed on for was great writing, which just captured me from the very first episode that I read, and then the director I knew, Anthony Hemingway, and I met with the producers, Joe and Misha, and then I met the actors once I had really signed on. And it's such a wonderful set to go down to, because it was really one heart, one purpose, different angles to attack it from, because everyone's an individual. But it was really a lovely experience.
And it's a great cast.
Great cast
that you have on the show too. And it's also, while it is a drama about this period in American history, there's like kind of a lot of like sexy, steamy scenes in it, and it's very melodramatic in a certain sense. It's kind of soap opera-y.
Yeah, well, I personally wouldn't go that far. I understand what you're saying, but I will say this: the director, Anthony Hemingway, who also did Red Tails, and he's a black director, and I only mention that because what came out of his mouth was, he goes, I was trying to make slavery sexy. It's like, I don't think a white guy could get away with that statement, man. But To your point.
And so I just said that I find certain parts of the show sexy. Not the slavery part, though.
No. That's a tough one to
I
pull
mean
off.
the actual interpersonal relations.
Yeah, but that was, but that was the genius of the writers and Anthony, which was to show that, okay, let's not get heavy and let's not be depressing about the whole thing. You must show signs of life. You must show that underneath this oppression, there's humanity. And, it says, Misha Green, one of the head writers, says, we're not here to show the oppression, we're here to show the revolution. We're here to see the flip side and see people awakening to their morality and to their power. And hashtag breaking free, I guess, is one of their things. So, yeah.
Do you feel like there's any kind of that it's resonating any more strongly right now because of the period that we're having in the country and kind of the national discussion that we're having about race, Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, I think it's a good timing for this, simply because I feel maybe it's a reminder of how much of a dialogue we need to have, how long this issue has been festering, maybe the lingering poison that this institution has, it's kind of reverberated through our society to this day. And that's what I've been saying, that, at its highest iteration, I hope that it promotes a sense of dialogue and a coming together and maybe a common person, white or black, it's irrelevant. It's common purpose of understanding. But I think job number one is a great show, riveting storytelling, and, you saw 4 of them?
I saw 4 of them, and it's suspenseful.
It's a ride, right?
Yeah, and I binge watched the 4 because I didn't want to turn them off, and I wanted to know what happened next, and then eventually my options just ran out because I didn't have anything else. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any more episodes to watch after number 4, so I'm dying to find out what happens next.
I can't tell you if that's why you invited me.
No, I kind of, yeah. I wish you would tell us. Yeah. Well, and I assume that your character is going to have a much larger role kind of moving forward too, because we've at this point only been given little sneak peeks into who you are.
Well, all I can tell you is I'm growing this beard for purpose, to tell the producers I need a bigger role. I'm actually growing this because I'm assuming that season 2 will be on the slate.
Okay, there
That's
we go.
That's for WGN America.
Season 2. Season 2 is already something in the plans. What's the environment like and the mood like on set?
It's it's great, and it stems from the confidence of the head writers. They've been very clear about the tone, the timbre, the end of the journey, per season, where they want to go. It stems from Anthony Hemingway, who was the main director. We had a few directors, but he was the main guy. He set the template, and he stayed with us for 6 out of the 10 episodes. So his calm influence and guidance under very trying circumstances. I mean, we dodged tornadoes. We lost a lot of days to rain, flooding.
You're filming in Louisiana.
Yeah, Baton Rouge. It was pretty arduous stuff. We had a water moccasin wrangler, so we wouldn't be bitten by snakes at night. Louisiana, lovely.
So
by the way,
this was someone's job was to be the water moccasin wrangler.
Official water moccasin wrangler. Mosquitoes by the swarm.
How much does that pay? I wonder.
What?
How much does that pay to be the snake wrangler?
Oh, I don't know, but the heat and the humidity. But all that being said, everyone came with a common purpose. Everyone came, I think, as I said, I've been saying this with one heart because you felt as though you were on a mission. You were entrusted with not only an important topic, but great material through which to tell this. So, I felt everyone was trying to honor a lot of people, honor the people that took this journey originally, and for the writers that had the courage to really tell it intelligently and beautifully, humanly. Yeah.
And it's delicate material and something that if you mess it up, you're going to hear it. Everyone is going to pass judgment and have an opinion on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big thing to bite off and chew, and to go at it boldly. And you know, the head writers never shied away from that.
I also like the way that they've played around with the music. So John Legend is one of the producers here, and what you have is kind of scenes set in that time in the 19th century, but then you have modern music. You've got songs from like The Weeknd playing, or they're at a governor's ball at the mansion at one point, and there's kind of there's like electronic music.
Yeah, you know, and I really thought that was so smart of them, which is you go from Negro spiritual sensibility of the time and of the moment to something that is absolutely recognizable. And I felt, to me, how I saw that was what you're seeing still echoes and resonates today. You still have these chasms of the haves and the have-nots, and you know, classes.
I want to apologize to Bianca Harner, who she's another fan of yours who pre-recorded the video comment, but I kind of asked the question already, and it was about what attracted you to this role, and you were talking about the writing and everything. So sorry, Bianca, my bad.
Sorry, Bianca.
Totally my mistake there.
Sorry.
And so I want to talk about some other things in your career too. You were in True Blood.
I was.
And was that the second to last? That was the second to last season.
I
believe,
think.
right? I'm trying to suddenly rack my mind. What was that experience like doing the vampire thing? And you were like the head vampire.
Yeah, it was. That was fantastic, and it came, and I think it was especially fantastic for at the time that it came, which is it was one of my first TV jobs after the SVU gig, and I really wanted to inhabit a world that was, you know, the complete opposite of what I had done for 12 years. So, you know, that was great. And Alan Ball, who was the writer-creator, you know, I'd been a big fan of his. And I knew the show, and I loved all the guys. I loved the sensibility of the show. So, you know, I was all in. I just wish, you know, they told me, that said, you know, we're only going to keep you around for 6 episodes.
Sorry, you're not going to live long. And you have a really bloody, gory, awful death.
Yeah,
as
well,
most of the vampires do.
Yeah, but you know, if you're going to get whacked, there's no other actor other than Brian O'Hara that I'd like to. Dennis O'Hara Brian O'Hara is an old schoolmate of mine. Dennis O'Hara that I'd rather be killed by.
All right, fair enough. And SVU actually just got renewed for the 18th season.
Yeah.
And there were some rumors that maybe you would make another appearance. Anything ever happen with that?
No, because I heard that rumor along with everybody else. I have no idea where that came from or what that was about, but you know, I just didn't really comment.
Some people feel like 18 seasons means that this is potentially the last one.
Uh-oh.
Any thoughts? Do you think it's time
For what?
for the show to come to a close?
I have no idea. I haven't been keeping tabs on it. I think that show should run as long, you know, I mean, look, it's a business. It'll stay on as long as people are watching it, you know, and yeah, doesn't matter if the people are having fun. It's if the people are watching it. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know anything about it, honestly.
All right, yeah, well, people either keep watching shows that they love for years and years, or they want certain things to come back. Yeah. And so you recently we had Michael Showalter on earlier today, too. Yeah. We were talking about Wet Hot American Summer and the recreation for Netflix on that. How fun was it to bring the whole crew back together?
That was like going home. That was a profound experience for me. Because I think probably for most other of the players involved, because it was really the jumping off point for most people, if not all the careers. And to come back together, Amy Poehler and that young upstart Bradley Cooper, it's just fantastic.
How many people have you seen dressed as Jean for Halloween? Because we had a couple just here in the office. Definitely, I don't know where Connor is right now, but Connor was he was Jean for Halloween.
I'm always very touched. I just wish I got. Maybe I should sue the costume companies.
You think you need to trademark that somehow?
Well, I helped build that costume, for crying out loud.
Was it? Yeah. Which part was your idea?
The cut-off Britney Spears belly button shirt.
Okay.
I thought that was funny. I gained 15 pounds for that. I ate my way through Europe to try and didn't. I was doing my De Niro.
No one's going to feel
impersonation
bad for you when you
role.
say that you had to gain weight for a role. It's the opposite. It's when people say that they had to starve themselves.
Yes, that's true.
And go through that kind of a painful physical
So I
transformation.
got no sympathy for you for saying I had to eat everything that was put in front of me in
Like,
Europe.
sorry, I just got to
Okay.
gorge.
All right, no one cares about that. Okay, let me go somewhere else.
No, it's more like envy speaking here.
Yeah, and grew the beard and the bandana with the ears. Yeah, I put the bandana so the ears would stick out a little bit, like Elf. I wanted him to be a little elfin. That's about it.
Well,
That's
it
all I
worked.
did.
It obviously worked. And do you hope that comes back for
Yeah.
more?
Yeah. Yeah, I always have fun. Number one, I always have fun with David Wayne and Michael Showalter. Those are the creators and writers. And Gene is just a fun guy. They put him in fun circumstances. They have fun things come out of his mouth.
They have some interesting things come out of his mouth. It makes you wonder what's going on inside of his head.
I don't want to go there. Just saying his words.
It
is
seems
enough.
like a dark and twisted place. Yeah. I think that's what we can maybe deduce from that. And what else do you have coming up in the future?
I have a John Travolta movie coming out called I Am Wrath. I have a Bruce Willis movie called Marauders coming out. But Underground is my main thing. I'm really excited and very proud of it. And I look forward to. I hope people find it, and once they do, I know they'll enjoy it.
And find it in a sense because it's on WGN.
WGN America. People have got a lot of choices these days. It's not easy to launch a show, and there's a lot of noise out there. Some of it, very good noise, but there's just a lot of stuff to choose from.
Definitely a lot of competition.
Yeah.
Well, I personally want to see the rest of the episodes.
Thanks for watching the first 4.
Thanks for sending them to me. You guys send me more.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna tell the publicist to send me the rest. All right, Chris, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Been a pleasure. And make sure to check out Underground when it premieres on WGN March 9th at 10 p.m. Eastern. And stick around. There's much more coming up on HuffPost Live.